Hello everybody, my name is KirkpattieCake. I'm an author and robot, and today we're doing an author-to-author discussion where I asked you guys a question and you gave me all of your opinions so we can talk about them and share our thoughts. Today's question is, what were your favorite archetypes and least favorite archetypes? But before we get started, a couple of things. Number one, LBRY. Check it out if you would like to have a short story featured on this channel. Check out the prompt down below. Consider submitting. It's going to be a fun month in August. And number two, check out PitchFit if you would like to have your story pitched on this channel, or the opportunity to have your story pitched on this channel to potential readers, hopefully uniting new authors and new readers with each other, because finding your book in the swamp of bookdom can be difficult. Anyway, with that said, let's get into the discussion. Archetypes, favorites, least favorites, go. Pangus says, I have a strong enjoyment in characters that struggle with their sanity and mental health. Specific examples are Arthas and Illidian from WoW 5th Season, the Samurai Jack, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, some of the characters from H.P. Lovecraft. Seeing a character get broken down and striving to survive really brings a sense of realism to a character and makes me think on how I would react in this situation. It also helps me feel better about whatever stresses are in my own life. I also love these stories that play with sanity, play with realism, play with mental illness, mental health. Realism in the sense of reality, like what is real, what's not real, if you're falling into delusion, like playing with all of those blurred lines. Cliff says, I think I like the outsider archetype the best. Most of the characters that I write and follow the most are the people who don't fit in for some reason. Sometimes they have opinions and experiences that are outside the norm. Sometimes they are literally outsiders, being from a different background than the people around them, but for whatever reason, outsiders are the characters I resonate the most with. The ones I dislike the most are Mary Sue's, which probably explain why I dislike so much of the SJW entertainment. They can't show certain groups suffering or struggling because that might glorify or minimize oppression, so the character has to be the best starting on page 1, and their only real problem is that people don't acknowledge their greatness. For real though, I feel you. I just mentioned this, or I'll mention this in my book review of the Ivies, but it's the same thing that Alexa Dunn did in her other book, which is all of the side characters telling the main character how amazing they are. And I run into this a lot. And, you know, you can use it as a character thing if it means something to the story, but I am really sick of just characters that are loved, but they're also, you actually look at their actions and they're shitty people. I also enjoy the outsider. Being an outsider, I enjoy seeing outsider perspectives. That's a good character type. Adernus says, I have a soft spot both when reading and writing for characters who are witty and can demonstrate snark and sarcasm without becoming quippy Marvel style or being pigeonholed into comic relief characters. Yeah, that is fun. A few characters from fiction that I didn't write, which demonstrate this trait, are Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. I didn't see the sequels and probably won't ever because they can only mess things up. And Mark Watney from The Martian. I haven't seen the movie either, just read the book, same reason. For the character types I don't like, I have to go with the Trump caricatures in spiky black armor for 200. Oddly, the silly trope precludes Trump's entry into politics, and it will likely continue long after the man's death. Yeah, I'm not a super fan of, like, super characterizing the same individuals over and over and over again for some kind of villainousy thing. It's like once or twice you can get away with it, but then when everybody is doing it, find a different target. You're just bullying at this point. Isa says, all of these depend on the writing doing them justice, which goes for any case. You can ruin any trope or guilty. You can ruin any trope or guilty pleasure by writing them poorly. And a lot of times these characters pop up one gender more than the other. Favorites are the damaged stoic, rich, and inevitably pretty boy who is kind of a bad guy and then not. I'm down for that one, dude. Sometimes I really enjoy the girls who are just sweet and kind. I remember liking Mimi from Digimon a lot. I'm down for that one. That serious and well-dressed guy in the background who is taking care of all the paperwork while the main characters are doing whatever the hell they're doing. Somebody has to run the country. I'm down for that one. The innocent protagonist girl who is going to win with determination and the power of friendship. They don't always have to go deep to be fun. True that. I mean, this just sounds like fun. The bad guy who loves his job way more than you love your job. Yeah. And loyal characters. I love characters who would give anything for each other, which can fall on the good guy side, that person who raises the king's child and loves them like family, or the bad guy side, the mafia crew who do whatever underground dirty work for their boss. I like when there is a sense of loyalty to it and isn't just because it's their job. Because there tends to be side characters, authors often let them have more provocative traits than the main characters too, which is very true. When authors are really worried about people liking their main characters because they are in love with their main characters, they can also be less concerned with people not liking their side characters, in which case the side characters often become more interesting and deep than the main characters because they're allowed to be disliked, which oddly enough usually makes them more likable. Isa's least favorites are not like other girls, the type that try to beat you over the head with how special they are rather than just being interesting, the overly preachy characters who never learn from anyone else, the love interests who exists to be a love interest and have no character traits of their own, characters who are good at everything for no reason and act cruddy to other characters. Oh my gosh. Then you pair that with a freaking Mary Sue. Characters who clearly exist to give the main character shallow, meaningless conflict, such as men written as sexual harassing women 24/7. Seriously, I'm so sick of that trope. It's making the blandest of statements that the vast majority of people agree with. It's like writing a politician that says, I support education, and expecting people to be inspired by that, when what would be more interesting is writing a politician that says, I don't support education, because then we'd be seeing something new. For real. Isa, I feel like we're soul siblings over here. Daniel and Angel says, Mama Bears and Papa Wolves. I really like characters who protect kids and will destroy anyone who hurts them. Oh my gosh, yes, that hits me in the soul. Whenever I see, I have a complex for sure because of my own family issues. But whenever I see a strong father figure that cares about his kids and will do anything to take care of his kids, that is probably one of my favorite character types. And I don't really get to see it enough because men are constantly demonized in entertainment right now. But it is one of my favorites, and I'm not going to lie. I cried at the ending of the newest Resident Evil game because Ethan was a great father. He says, I dislike the blank slate, those who stand for almost nothing, that every other character loves, like Bella from Twilight. She is a boring slate that readers can easily see themselves into. You know, just slip yourself into that skin. There's nothing creepy about that. Nothing creepy at all. Augustine Trollius, I'm hoping that you've got a true response for us, Mr. Troll. I like the archetype of the underdog who forces victory. I also like the archetype of the advisor, but one with certain court jester attitude. Yes. And putting those together where you've got the underdog who forces victory and has the advisor, the funny advisor, as his partner, that's a great dynamic. Al Parker says, my favorite type of character is the kind that isn't the smartest, strongest, or most able, but the one who will always keep getting up to fight regardless of how the odds are against them. Anton Yelchin's character in Green Room comes to mind, as well as the protagonist of the original Boy. Yes, it's that determination and that strength. Again, it's the underdog, and the underdog might not always win, but that is a great character. Justine, with the, almost looks like a blow-up doll over here. Mind your mouth. I like the loyal hero and the heroine with something to prove. Yes. Oh, I'm loving these character types. Erwin, the author, says, favorite character types are the goth chick, dickhead chosen one, like Ash from Evil Dead, mouthy mercenary, the incompetent world domination protagonist, like Brain and Invader Zim, the macho man child, basically every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie character, and the brooding noir anti-hero. Characters that I hate are the wet rag teenage horn dog. Does anybody like that guy, though? The female warrior who is only strong because everyone else is incompetent and has a glass jaw. Dude, for real, though. Oh my gosh. If your female character has to look... If the only way that your female warrior character can look good is because everybody else looks terrible, you need to figure something else out, because this isn't going to work. The high school dork protagonists. I like the jerk skater and the slacker pothead a lot more. Yeah, because you like the funny guys and the dickheads. And the old lady antagonist that is somehow threatening, yet she's a frail old lady. Yeah, that's fun. Archetypes that I like. All of them. Because I'm a pre-modernist. But if I had to pick one, it's the one I am thanks to my monkey Zodiac, the trickster. And that's why you're so playful, isn't it? Manaya says, I love the too angry to die trope and the old reluctant criminal pulled back in, especially when they're combined. Mel Gibson in Bloodfather. Yes. Oh my gosh. Too Angry to Die is a great character type. That's also a great title. Somebody needs to write that book called Too Angry to Die. That is a great title. It could be a band, but I think, I don't know. I'm a writer, so I can't help with making a band named Too Angry to Die. Helping Hand says, my favorite is the wounded hero. Someone, for whatever reason, is unable to save the day. Someone, for whatever reason, is unable to save the day anymore and can only advise and watch people do the job they used to do. But maybe, just maybe, if things work out, a chance to show their stuff one last time at the end of the tale. Sorry, I'm a sucker for that stuff. Shh, no need to be sorry for that. That is a great trope. That is a great character type. The least favorite is simple, the asshole, the character that for some reason exists just to make the situation harder. The character that if this was real life, they would be left for dead in a ditch at the first opportunity, but for some reason the protags just keep dragging them along. I hate manufactured conflict, for real, and it's not like we can't tell when the conflict is manufactured. I don't know how many of you guys, let me know in the comments, when you're reading a scene, you're like, why are these characters interacting if there really seems to be no reason for them to be talking to one another? I'm constantly evaluating this stuff, and that's why I have so many issues with a lot of books, because I'm like, there's no reason for these people to be talking to each other. There's no reason for these people to be honestly having this conversation right now. Net Jr. says, I like characters in families, such as father-sons, couples, and mother-daughters. Yeah, there aren't enough parental family unit situations going on anymore. I say this as, look, Dead End Drive ends with the family unit, okay? Spoiler alert, it's been out almost a year. Spoiler alert. The family unit survives. But family units are fun stories. That's one of the reasons why I love it so much. Lucille says, I have lots of favorite character types, but one I both love and hate when they do it terribly is the sly, know-it-all character who has planned 100 steps ahead. Yeah, that would be really easy to mess up. A good version of this is Lin Ji Ya from Thunderbolt Fantasy, but there are plenty of bad ones of this since they just ass-pull, I knew you were going to do that, so I made backup plans off-screen. Yeah, it's really easy to mess that one up. Misanthropic Lens says, I like the semi-reluctant hero, the one that just gets by, usually at the expense of cuts and abrasions. Sam Vimes, Michael Talbot, Ellen Ripley, characters who have to rise to the occasion and above their doubts and above their skills to prevail. Yeah. Semi-reluctant hero who just barely gets by. Yeah, because then they're not overpowering anything. The Mad Scientist says, anti-heroes tend to have more human depth than the run-of-the-mill variety. Their traumas are on their sleeves, but not their lips. They radiate the palpable air of hardship every flesh and blood reader can relate. Their mission comes from real experience and pain, not the ideology imparted by flights of fancy. That's a very nice way of saying that. And 80 Mont Blanc says that if there's an underdog arc and theme surrounding them, then perfection. Yes. And that is really what makes that character super full. Ken Wells says, I enjoy a character who is struggling to become better or overcome some type of inner adversity. I dislike Superman-type characters who are omnipotent. This could be a side character that only appears once, but for some reason has way too much knowledge for reasons that never get explained. Yeah. I feel like that's with anything in a book, though. Like, if a character is messed up, you need to have a reason for why they're messed up. If a character is perfect at something, you need to have an explanation for why that is. And if your explanation makes sense, readers will accept it. If you go, here's the thing, they're just perfect, get on it. No, is the answer you're gonna get. WTK 2021 says, the warrior hero who awaits his destiny before finally achieving it. Like Aragorn. Aragorn is a great character, but so is Boromir. There are a lot of great characters in Tolkien's work. Amazing Gaming Pro says, I'm going to reiterate Manaya's statement. The tough guy who powers through any adversity. No matter what they have to go through, they keep going. I also like sweet romances in novels. They always bring a smile to my face. If you imagine taking that, the tough guy who powers through any adversity along with your papa. I mean, that's how we get into the strong papa arc where he cares about his family, and it's oh, not enough of it. Ugh. Where are my good dads at? Linda LaForge says, I enjoy characters that look within and strive towards a better understanding of themselves and the reality that they share with others. As a writer, my characters reflect my own spiritual awareness and interactions with realms unseen. Well, that is also a very cool way to thing to be inspired by and to share with others. I love writing and reading other people's writing because I get to see kind of the world and values through the eyes of the author showing those things. So that is especially potent. Batali says, traveling angel, because the story's possibilities are endless and it fits the people of the steppe, people of the valley cycle. You mean like actual traveling angels, angels from heaven coming down and traveling the earth, which is a very interesting character type, and they can run into so many different things. If they run into corruption, more angels are warriors, but they're pure soldiers. Oh, there's a lot that you can do with that. Facts First says, the anti-SJW kind with morals who take personal responsibility and reject equity. Hannah Rose Williams says, Hannah Rose Williams says, I am a hopeless sucker for the big tough guy and little child. The tough guy fights for something meaningful, the safety of the child. The child possibly learns to trust, and unlikely families are a direct line to my heart. Oh, yes. Ugh. Like, we're back to kind of some family things going on here, but different families, just loving families, regardless of what sorts of families they are. I'm down for more family stuff going on. And then she added, romances that actually retain their sexual tension because the characters have restraint and maybe don't even touch. Those are super rare and for some reason extra enjoyable for me. If they've already hooked up and even kissed a dozen times, then I'm bored. Hannah, I've got to ask you, have you seen Pushing Daisies? It is one of my, if not my absolute favorite television show ever, and the main character and his love interest cannot actually touch each other, or she will die. Literally, because she starts out dead at the beginning of the show, and the main character has the ability that when he touches somebody, they can come back to life, but if he touches them again, they die forever. And so for the whole show, they can't actually touch each other, but they are very much gooey in love with each other. Highly recommend it. Very stylized, very, very good. Kind of fantasy noir. And it's got Chi McBride and Kristen Chenoweth in it. Like, what's not to like? Roland Laws says, I've always loved what Heinlein calls the competent hero, the character who's been through it all and can handle whatever comes. They're very hard to do as protagonists, but as heroes, advisors, he or she is a lot of fun. I don't know why, but I'm tired of the hero's journey. Maybe I've just seen it too many times and I don't enjoy it. I feel like you're the first person I've seen that's like, enough with the hero's journey. Take it away. Take it gone. EBR Bozo says, favorites, selfless, kind, honest, dedicated to a goal to the point of complete sacrifice of petty desires. Yeah, that's a great, great characters. Ugh. Show me these books, please. Least favorite are the cruel, dishonest, backstabbing. Well, don't look in Dead and Drive, Bozo. There's some bad people in there. Bizarra says, I always love the trickster. We got another trickster. Everybody's just having fun. We want fun, we want family, and we want hard-working loyalty. That's what it looks like. Oh, we got more underdog. Mont Blanc says, underdog characters, the kind that whatever their mission is, begins behind everyone, or almost everyone, but through dedication and struggle rises above all challenge. Anti-heroes are also top-notch if the writer is competent. They can also be a struggling underdog. Hate the Mary Sue, Gary Sue, and anything that lacks any struggle or conflict or trivializes it for some reason. Archetypes, all of them, can shape great characters. My only preference is that the archetype morph into the character unless the story doesn't allow or justify that. Yes, so much. So obviously underdogs. We like the underdogs because rise up. But seriously, to trivializing or creating no struggle whatsoever, it's so boring. And you see this so often, specifically with Mary Sue's, is they just go into scenes, and the people that often write these characters don't understand. It doesn't seem like the people that write these characters understand what struggle is, because they'll like fail at getting a phone password 4 times, and then on the 5th one they'll get it. I'm looking at you, the Ivies. You'll hear all about that mess, I think next week. Yeah, present them a problem, and then it's just everything works out when they ask for it, or there's mild resistance where somebody says no and then immediately switches over to yes. So boring. Thrift Gaming says, I definitely have a soft spot for the brooding PTSD-addled badass types with a heart of gold. Oh, who doesn't like the badass with a heart of gold? On the other hand, I hate when writers make strong characters who are overbearing, ungrateful jerks, and this is treated as a positive trait. Looking at you, Suze, they keep doing this. They make their Mary Sues terrible, and they make all of the other characters run PR for the Mary Sues by telling the reader how great the main character is when we can see how terrible she is. We see you, okay? This is a lot more prevalent in female characters recently because strong female characters, but it's definitely done with men too. Being an asshole does not equal strength. Like I just said, I keep seeing it with female characters, but I feel like I've read a bunch of books more recently that star female characters, and they keep doing this. Look at my last couple of book reviews. Doing this. At least Daniel Green's book did not do this. I can give him props for that one. Lycanthrocyde says, I love me a good trickster, especially a thief. Lupin III, Spike Spiegel, Bill Cipher, that's the kind of character. Yes. Like a little bit of a sassy trickster thief. That is a delicious character type right there. Very playful, fun. It's the confidence. And Molly B says, I've got two favorite types. The anti-hero, we're back to the anti-hero, especially those done well, have been dear to me since I read and got attached to Artemis Fowl. Then there's the mad scientist, which I also love. Ugh, if you're from like, I feel like Dexter's Laboratory era, we've all been attached to the mad scientists since we were children. It's just him and Pinky and the Brain, the famous mad scientists. And then we had Invader Zim, more mad scientist. Alien, not a mad scientist, but still, there was some stuff going on. Those are great character types. So it seems like some of the most popular character types this time around right now are archetypes, are the underdog, those that are family oriented or more family dynamics are also desired right now. And tricksters, thieves, playful characters like that, and characters who are heroes, hearts of gold. Maybe they struggle to get to their goals. They aren't perfect. Maybe they're a little bit damaged, but they are loyal. They are competent. They are and caring about others. Oh, we want some positive story. I feel like a lot of you read fantasy, honestly. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just feel like there are a lot of fantasy readers in here. Am I correct in that? Anyway, those were the answers that you guys gave me for the discussion question this week. Check back on mines soon for the next discussion question, and I look forward to hearing your opinions, your thoughts, what you guys love, and what you guys like less of, please. And if you didn't get to answer this before, maybe you leave some of your favorite and least favorite archetypes down in the comments below, and we can talk, and I don't know, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on it. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoy what I do here on the channel, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And with all that said, have a great weekend, and don't die.
The only people who should come are those who want to meet their monsters.
If this is what Agatha wants, I don't know how we can even dispute it.
Show me your teeth.
I change lives, baby.
And I end them. Sweetheart, no bargains hold. Only fools know restraint.
Only losers lose!
If your scissors are dull, may I recommend sharpening them with leather?
I think I hit you.
Mima says I must have a guardian angel.
To enter the ring but abstain from playing is suicidal. Your virtue makes you nothing but a liability.
You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die.